Welcome back. In last lecture, we went through SN2 reactions, and we said we have 4 factors that we need to include them in our calculation. And the first one was the steric effect. We said as we increase the steric effect on alpha carbon, the SN2 reaction gets slower. And what was the alpha carbon? This is the alpha carbon, the carbon that is holding the halide. If you have 2 hydrogens there, say, and of course the third one also is going to be hydrogen, reaching carbon from the back, it will be easier. And remember, your nucleophile always will reach carbon and the alpha carbon from the back. Now, I'm going to replace those 2 hydrogen by methyl groups. And if I put here CH3, okay, and remember, CH3, it has 3 hydrogens. So you're going to draw the hydrogen this way. Then, of course, here you have carbon. That one also, it has 3 hydrogens. This time we say it's going to be really hard for our nucleophile to make it to this carbon. And this is the reason that SN2 reaction will go down. The speed of the SN2 reaction will go down if you increase the steric effect. So this reaction is going to be faster than the second reaction, and this one it will be slower. Okay. Next factor, it will be the nucleophilicity. Okay. And what was the nucleophilicity? Nucleophilicity, we have a nucleophile that it has 2 lone pairs sitting on it, and the nucleophile also can behave as base. Okay, so you have to be sensitive to nucleophilicity versus basicity. Okay, and for example, HCl is a strong acid. Okay, strong acid. That's going to turn to H plus and Cl minus, and the Cl minus is the conjugate base, and this is going to be a weak conjugate base. Weak conjugate base is stable. It's not going to go through any chemical reaction. When I say chemical reaction, I mean it's not going to go back to reform the HCl. And so if conjugate base is stable, it will give you strong or good nucleophile. Okay. Why? What's the reason behind it? The reason behind it, when you say the conjugate base is a stable, means less reactive. Okay, means less reactive. When I say reactive, saying to the H plus. It's not going to be looking for H plus to take H from the system and turn to neutral compound. But how about this? Okay, how about, for example, H3OH? Okay. The pKa for this alcohol is something around 16. Okay, when you turn it to say CH3O and then you put 3 lone pairs on it plus H plus, I'm going to say the conjugate base, okay, this is going to be a strong conjugate base. And because we are saying it's a strong conjugate base, that means this species, the second you generate it, it will be looking for acidic H, okay, whatever here. I'm going to call this one acidic hydrogen. Or I should say hydrogen ion. Okay, so it will be looking for acidic hydrogen and to take it from, and take it and turn back to neutral compound, and it will regenerate this species again, plus say X and X, whatever, okay, whatever X is. But I want to say this: if your conjugate base is stable, okay, stable enough, it will be a good or strong nucleophile. If conjugate base is a strong base, that means it's very reactive. And if it's very reactive, means it will behave as a base rather than a nucleophile. Be careful about this one. So the basicity might be the dominant one rather than nucleophilicity. And if the basicity is dominant, then technically that species will prefer to take hydrogen from the system. I want to say this: if the basicity goes up, you might end with elimination reaction rather than SN reaction or nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, so here I have a bunch of nucleophile, and they say like the strong nucleophile, and they are the one with negative charge. So if you have a negative charge on an atom, that means you're dealing with a strong nucleophile. Okay, strong nucleophile. And if you look to them, those elements are elements that they have higher electronegativity, or the hybridization also is high. And for example, for this carbon, the hybridization is sp. Okay, and so we have an electronegative element and there is a negative charge on it. Okay, and if there is no negative charge, but still you have lone pair, I'm going to say it can behave as a nucleophile, but it's not going to be strong. Why? Because it's already neutral. It's happy with the formal charge. It doesn't want to give up that hydrogen to the species with a negative charge. And between, for example, say CH3 attached to oxygen versus CH3 attached to sulfur, if you want to make your choices, see which one is a better nucleophile, I said the better nucleophile is the one that gives you more stable conjugate base. In this case, I have sulfur and oxygen with -1 charge. So both of them, they have negative charges. Both of them are going to be a strong nucleophile, but which one is a stronger nucleophile? Nucleophile is supposed to be patient enough to find the halide and kick it out of the system. Okay, when I say patient enough, should be less reactive toward technically the H+. It should not behave as in a base. And in these two cases, and I know size of sulfur is bigger than oxygen. So sulfur is more capable of handling negative charge than oxygen because it's bigger. Okay, because it's bigger. If sulfur is more capable of handling the negative charge, we say it will be a better nucleophile. Okay, a better nucleophile. But if you're talking about basicity, I will say this one is a stronger base than CH3S. Okay, so if you're talking about nucleophilicity, the sulfur is better nucleophile than oxygen. But if you're talking about basicity, oxygen, it will be a better one. And look here, sulfur HS is better than HO, and RS is better than RO. Okay, and that's the proof for it. And here we have HO is going after carbon, and what's going to happen? Carbon is going to turn. Technically, carbon is going to give you this transition state. You will have hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen there, and iodide is trying to leave the system. It's trying to take the 2 electrons, while oxygen is trying to share the lone pair with carbon. Oxygen, it has 2 lone pair, so we're giving electron to carbon, and iodide is taking those 2 electrons, and that's going to be structure of the transition state. And you put this sign on the top of the 2 brackets. You want to say that that's not stable, or that's technically the structure of the transition state. And the entire of this process is going to happen in one step, and then next step, and then at the end you will get this. You will get the carbon with 3 hydrogen that attach to oxygen, and it will be okay. Methanol plus you get iodide as well. That's one of the product. Okay, so alcohol plus iodide. The second one, the first one, the reaction is going to be fast. Okay, so I'm going to say this reaction, it will be really fast because I have a strong nucleophile. And the second one, it will be a slow reaction. How do I know this one is going to be a slow reaction? Because water does not have negative charge. In fact is neutral. And the reaction is going to start with this. So first step, the transition state is going to have this structure. Hydrogen, then we get hydrogen here. Here we have hydrogen. Okay. Water is going to share lone pair with carbon, and iodide is going to take 2 electrons to leave the system. So we are forming a bond and breaking a bond. So forming plus breaking bond. And this one happened at the same time. And again, the charge in this case here, the charge it's going to be 0. Okay, the charge of the transition state is 0. Why? Because I'm adding a neutral compound. And so the product will be this. I get carbon with 3 hydrogens. And then I have oxygen with 2 hydrogens plus iodide, A minus. Okay, oxygen, it has a positive charge. Then that means we need to have a base or solvent involved to take hydrogen from the product. So if I treat it with water, okay, if I treat this one with water, and then water is going to technically go after one of the acidic hydrogen. So let's say this one is our solvent. Okay, water is going to go after that hydrogen. Okay, this hydrogen, okay, forgive me. Those lone pairs, well, they will take hydrogen, and at the end we get this one as a final product, CH3. got O plus, again, we got the hydrogen back. And so first product will be the alcohol. This is going to be our product. And the leaving group, or the second product, is going to be the leaving group, which is I minus. So we get two products, alcohol plus iodide. Okay. Now, if you want to track, say, the pKa, you will see that as we increase the pKa, acidity will go down. That means we're going to get strong conjugate base. So those are going to be a strong conjugate base. If they are strong conjugate bases, they might be looking for hydrogen, acidic hydrogen, instead of nucleophilic reaction. Okay. And but they have negative charges, so they can behave as nucleophile. Don't get it wrong. Okay. And but I want to say that because your pKa of the compounds are high, that means the conjugate base is going to be really strong base. And if it's strong base and there is acidic hydrogen, you might see elimination reaction instead of substitution reaction. Be careful about this one.